Hi, I'm Angus Singh, and welcome to part one of the famous players Cedarbrae Cinema's 8 history. And I'm gonna have to tell you the story of how this popular theater started well, but then when declining attendance came in, it was time to close down due to the rise of a bigger Yorkdale and the new Paramount Toronto slash Silver City Yorkdale. Oh, so how do we explain where it all began? Well, I'll tell you right now. The history of the Cedarbrae Theater began when it was built renovating the remains of the former Cedarbrae Bowl. What is the Cedarbrae Bowl, you might ask? Hmm. Well, I can't tell what the Cedarbrae Bowl looks like, but it was the structure that was built in the late 50s. And unfortunately, the parcel of land the theater was located on was not much larger than the theater building and a parking lot to be created across the street in the Cedarbrae Plaza lot. So, on November 21st, 1969, the Cedarbrae Theater opened with two screens. 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 So, the opening day features were the undefeated and Alice's Restaurant, and throughout the Twin Theater era, more films were coming in, in, in Hello Dolly, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, this, this, and of course, by the time it reached the 1970s, came The Boatniks, Ryan's Daughter, uh, uh, The Aristocats, a re-release of the 20,000 League is Under the Sea, and of course, as the list of movies goes on, on, of course, we would have American Graffiti, Jaws, The Land That Time Forgot, and it wasn't until December 19th, 1975, that the theater was upgraded to 4 screens, making it the biggest theater in the Scarborough area. Uh, but still, there's not much film they could think of until a big challenge came in by the name of Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. This made Star Wars the signature movie series of this theater. And of course, course, following it, many blockbuster films came in after that. Superman the movie, Alien, and even Jaws 2 and Star Trek the Motion Picture. And, well, Rocky was there. 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 And there's been a lot of Disney movies being re-released by that time. And of course, the 1980s, it started to get bigger. For, with movies like The Empire Strikes Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Superman 2, ooh, ooh, and even Death Wish 2, since, the first two Death Wishes were screened at this theater. But by March 20th, 1982, there were two more screens added in, and not only but, the theater became bigger and better, reaching to to a total of 1,000 movies when The Deadly Spawn was released April 22nd, 1983. This led to the release of Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi. And the Cedarbrae was starting to grow bigger with more releases like The Terminator, Nightmare on Elm Street, and in 1986, the Transformers the movie, he finally came out. Out, 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 and and by 1987, and, and, and on July 24th, 1987, and famous players became an 8-plex cinema with the release of Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. Peace, peace, which turns famous players into an 8-plex, which turns famous players Cedarbrae into an 8-plex theater, which of course showed discount movies. And throughout 1987 to 1991, Cedarbrae was perhaps the biggest theater in Canada until Central Level 12 opened near Montreal. Oh, oh, and there were many more movies to come, including, well, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Beverly Hills Cop, Die Hard, and of course, horse, the Little Mermaid. And that was pretty much the end of the 1980s. And because this is part 1 of the video, stay tuned for part 2, where we go through the 1990s and it's downhill into the early 2000s.